Thank you very much. It's actually encouraging to see so many people are interested in what's going on in the economy and the labor market in particular, and I'm just maybe surprised. Are you guys all interested in bad news? You haven't been reading the newspaper? Because if you're here for good news, it's going to be a really short presentation. One of the things, I guess, about the economy is if you've been here even a month or 6 months, you know that you tend to expect the unexpected. And in the world of economics, when things are just kind of rolling along swimmingly as we were kind of before the last major oil price shock, it gets kind of boring because you just kind of push out the same forecasts, the same projections, things just carry on as they do. But then something happens that's unexpected. And this is one of the interesting things about economics. And it's always the unexpected that makes you kind of rethink what you've been doing in terms of your forecasts. It makes you rethink what your expectations are going to be for the future. And one of the things that you realize is that you probably aren't going to be able to make a projection of the future that you can count on. Now, I know that may sound funny, because that's what I'm here to do today, is to give you a projection of the future. And there's a reason why we do that. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But one of the things about expectations and the unpredictability of things, there's a number of, instances and circumstances where that arises in the real life. And there's a case, somebody was telling me in downtown Edmonton, there was a homeless person who was selling cookies on the street, and the cookies were $1. So there was a gentleman that would come by. He would leave the homeless person $1, but he didn't take a cookie. He just left the $1. And so this went on quite a few times. The guy would leave the $1 and not take a cookie. And then one day, the homeless person, as the gentleman was dropping $1 into his cup, the homeless person grabbed him by the arm. And the gentleman said, "Well, I suppose you're wondering, why I leave you $1 and never take a cookie." And the homeless person said, "No, I just wanted to tell you the cookies are now $1.50. It is unexpected. So, what's the state of the economy? And I think the question that everybody was asking when the oil prices started to drop about 1.5 years ago is, okay, well, how far are they going to drop? And how long are they going to stay down wherever they drop to? And I think the answer is nobody knows. We're still kind of in the middle of it. We're not sure if we're kind of at the bottom, whether we're moving up, or where we will be, say, 1 year from now or 2 years from now. This is a complicated chart that shows you the total employment in Alberta in the blue bars over time, and it's kind of a limey green line that shows you the change in oil prices over that same period. This goes back to, I think, 2001 out to today. And you can see just generally in Alberta, employment has grown. It's had its ups and downs, but generally it's grown pretty consistently, except for a couple of places. This place, which was in 2008, and if you remember, there was a general economic downturn in 2008 related to stock market crisis and the housing crisis, primarily in the United States, but it spread all over the world. Financial institutions everywhere were affected by this. And that had a significant effect on the Alberta economy, but it also had a significant effect on oil prices, as you can see. There's a significant drop in oil prices in 2008, which had an implication for employment growth, because you can see on the chart employment growth flattened out for about 1 year, 1.5 years after that drop in oil prices. And then it started to pick up again. And then until about 1.5 years ago, things continued to grow. And 1.5 years ago, we had another oil price shock. We were at about $90 some a barrel, West Texas Intermediate price of oil. and it's dropped down to we're in the $40 range, and we're not sure where it's going to go. People are saying we might go lower, it might go higher. We don't know. This chart shows you the unemployment rate in Alberta over that same period of time. And if you follow this kind of stuff, and I don't know why you would, but if you do, you would know that economists generally think full employment, in other words, the economy is kind of operating more or less at 100%. Full employment is at an unemployment rate of between 3 and 5%. You're never really going to get much below 3% because there's a certain amount of frictional unemployment. There's always people that have either left a job and looking for a job, even if the economy is running at full steam.